What if the drugs that doctors prescribe for dementia are less effective than a common herbal supplement, or even a placebo? A recent study has a shocking conclusion about dementia meds that forces us to think twice about how we tackle the disease. The study concluded that ginkgo biloba and placebos outperform conventional dementia meds when it comes to improving cognition. This finding challenges how the medical community treats dementia and raises questions about the value of widely prescribed drugs. For the millions of individuals affected by dementia and their families, these results can be troubling. They suggest that our current treatment strategies may need reevaluation, potentially altering the course of care for countless patients worldwide. And the cost of these meds is something we all bear. Even if we don't have dementia and all our loved ones are free of dementia, most of the meds are paid for by insurance, which means that we are all helping to pay for them. In this video, I'll tell you about these findings as well as some natural evidence-based strategies to safeguard your brain health. We'll explore what actions you can take to potentially reduce your risk of cognitive decline. Let's dig into this amazing study. It uses a method called network meta-analysis, which lets researchers compare multiple treatments at the same time. Network meta-analysis works by creating a web of connections between different treatments based on existing studies. It combines direct and indirect evidence to rank the effectiveness of different drugs. For example, if Study 1 compares drug X to drug Y, and Study 2 compares drug Y to drug Z, network meta-analysis can indirectly compare drugs X and Z, even if no direct comparison has been done. In some ways, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece of the puzzle has its own information, but when you connect them all together, new insights are revealed. In the case of this study, researchers analyzed data from 17 randomized controlled trials involving over 7,000 people. They looked exclusively at Alzheimer's disease, not other dementias, and they focused on longer-term results, meaning a period of at least 1 year. As a result, they examined 4 different drugs, plus ginkgo biloba, vitamin B, and placebos. Through meta-analysis, they put together a picture of how these compounds stack up against each other. The results were shocking. Ginkgo biloba, a natural supplement derived from the leaves of the ginkgo tree, emerged as one of the most effective options for improving cognition in dementia patients. Even more surprising, placebos, essentially sugar pills with no active ingredients, showed better results than many commonly prescribed dementia drugs. Look at this graphic for a visual summary of the findings. In this type of analysis, researchers use something called SUCRA, the surface under the cumulative ranking. You don't need to be a statistician to see how this works. Each graph shows the ranking of each drug. The graph with the greatest area under the curve is the best performing product. You can see that ginkgo biloba had the greatest area under the curve with a score of 83%. 100% is the highest you can have. And the next one is the placebo with a score of 67.8%. It's important to note that this doesn't mean all dementia drugs are useless. All meds have shown positive effects under certain circumstances. Otherwise, they could not have been approved. But it's possible to structure the participant pool and the data in such a way as to get a positive outcome. But the study raises a troubling question. How can it be that drugs backed by years and billions of dollars of research are no better than sugar pills for treating dementia? This surprising result simply validates the fact that dementia is an incredibly hard disease to understand and cure. Pharmaceutical companies have invested billions of dollars and countless hours into creating drugs that target cognitive decline. Yet despite these efforts, results are mixed. One explanation might lie in the complex nature of the disease itself. Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia involve multiple biological processes and pathways in the brain. Current meds often target specific aspects of the disease, such as reducing the buildup of amyloid plaques or tau tangles. However, this targeted focus may not address the full spectrum of factors that contribute to dementia. Another confounding factor is that Alzheimer's can manifest itself in different ways with different people. 2 people can have Alzheimer's disease. Both can have the plaques and tangles in their brains that we associate with the disease, but the impact on their cognition and behavior can be much different. What is certain is that these drugs do have side effects. Common ones include nausea, dizziness, and gastrointestinal issues, none of which are any fun. And a newer class of dementia drugs, such as one called lecanemab, causes brain bleeds and has even been associated with people dying. Another important factor is the timing of treatment. Many experts believe that by the time dementia symptoms are apparent, significant brain damage has already occurred. This means that meds are simply being prescribed too late in the progression of the disease to have any impact. Earlier intervention might be required. For patients and their families, all of this is emotionally challenging. Many have placed their hopes in these meds, viewing them as a lifeline in the face of a devastating diagnosis, and learning that these drugs may not be as effective as they believed can be disheartening and might lead to feelings of frustration or helplessness. But this doesn't mean that all hope is lost. Rather, it highlights the need for a more comprehensive approach to dementia care, which could include drugs along with lifestyle, diet, and exercise therapies. The search for the dementia magic bullet continues, but how do we evaluate the evidence? Not all studies are created equal. This meta-analysis offers a unique perspective on Alzheimer's drugs, but what can we learn from its methodology? Let's look at the strengths and limitations. One significant strength of this study is its focus on long-term outcomes. The researchers only included trials with follow-up periods greater than 1 year. This approach provides a more realistic picture of how these treatments perform over time, which is especially important for a chronic, progressive condition like Alzheimer's disease. Another positive aspect is the study's specificity. By concentrating solely on Alzheimer's and excluding other forms of dementia, the researchers ensured a more targeted analysis. One limitation this study has may lie in variations in the quality of the underlying studies. For instance, some studies were blinded, meaning participants did not know whether they were receiving the actual treatment or a placebo. In general, this is good, but other studies lack this important control measure. Meta-analyses are only as good as the data they incorporate. While combining multiple studies gives us a broader perspective, it also means that any flaws in the original research may be carried over into the end result. Some experts criticize them for oversimplifying complex issues. It's really convenient to have one single answer, but you can also lose important subtleties in the research. It's kind of like asking who's the best basketball player in the NBA. It comes down to the metrics you think are important and the time period you take the data from. Now, despite all this, I think this study is pretty important. The fact that ginkgo biloba and placebos outperform conventional meds in improving brain health means we need to take a hard look at our current approach to Alzheimer's. If we take the drugs, we should have reasonable expectations, and maybe there is a role for alternative or complementary therapies. One question to ask is, if the conventional meds underperform, why does Medicare spend so much on dementia medications? The actual cost is hard to nail down due to problems in data reporting, but estimates range from $2 to $5 billion a year. The drugs included in this study are currently available as generics, so their cost is manageable. But newer meds targeting amyloid plaques come with big price tags. For instance, Leqembi, a recently approved drug, costs about $26,500 per year per patient. And this doesn't include additional expenses for lab visits and the ongoing monitoring that you have to have if you're taking it. And that adds to the cost even more. The cost of these drugs raise ethical questions about resource allocation in healthcare. Is it justifiable to invest so heavily in treatments that offer such small cognitive improvements? Moreover, the latest generation of these meds, like Leqembi, carry serious side effects, including the risk of brain bleeds and, in rare cases, even death. Having the answers for all this is way above my pay grade. I cared for my mom for 5 years as she declined due to Alzheimer's. And I've worked with hundreds of clients whose loved ones have had dementia. I understand that when it's you or a family member, it's personal and you want access to anything that might work. Until the pharma industry can come up with more robust solutions, our only solution is to also look at natural and holistic alternatives. This study highlighted ginkgo biloba. I don't think that was a deliberate thing. Rather, it popped up in the underlying studies that met their criteria for the analysis. But the reason is that a lot of research has been done on ginkgo biloba because it has shown promise as a dementia treatment. Ginkgo biloba has long been a part of traditional medicine. Native to China, it's been used for centuries to treat many ailments, including memory problems. So what makes this ancient plant so special? In this study, people with dementia took 120 milligrams of ginkgo biloba 2 times a day for 18 weeks. At the end of the study, participants saw significant improvements in planning and execution, memory, speed, and executive function, and behavioral symptoms. Ginkgo biloba contains compounds called flavonoids and terpenoids, which are believed to have powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. These compounds may protect brain cells from damage and improve blood flow to the brain. The benefits of ginkgo biloba extend beyond its antioxidant properties. It can also help regulate neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers in our brain. By modulating these crucial brain chemicals, ginkgo biloba could potentially improve mood, reduce anxiety, and enhance overall cognitive function. But I think it's fair to say that some experts are skeptical. In fairness to both sides of the conversation, Cochrane, a nonprofit devoted to researching drug research, did a deep dive on ginkgo biloba and said there was no convincing evidence that it helps dementia or cognitive impairment. So should we take it? Virtually all sources say that it's safe. So if it were me or my loved one, my attitude would be, what do I have to lose? Ginkgo biloba isn't the only natural supplement showing promise for brain health. Other compounds like magnesium L-threonate and Glynac have also garnered attention in recent years. Magnesium L-threonate, a form of magnesium that crosses the blood-brain barrier, has shown potential to improve brain function and reduce age-related memory decline. Glynac, a combination of glycine and N-acetylcysteine, is another supplement that has shown promise in supporting brain health. Recent research suggests that Glynac supplementation helps improve brain function in older adults by reducing oxidative stress and inflammation in the brain. The availability of these natural alternatives offers a different approach to brain health. Instead of counting on drugs, we can also consider natural supplements. This doesn't mean we should give up meds, but maybe a more holistic approach would help. Combining the best of modern medicine with natural remedies might offer a more comprehensive support for our brains. Remember that supplements, even natural ones, can interact with medications and may not be suitable for everyone. Always consult with your doctor before changing your meds or starting any new supplement regimen, especially if you have existing health conditions or are taking other medications. So let's wrap this up. A recent meta-analysis looked at a number of dementia medications and concluded that ginkgo biloba and even a placebo were more effective than the meds themselves. Overall, the performance of dementia meds has been disappointing. Some data support using them and other data do not. Given the uncertainty around prescribed meds, we can consider natural supplements alongside or instead of our dementia drugs. Some supplements that are supported by research include ginkgo biloba, magnesium L-threonate, and Glynac, which is a combination of glycine and N-acetylcysteine. A great foundation for cognitive health starts with a wholesome diet, regular exercise, and good sleep. Always discuss these things with your doctor. Thank you for watching. Please see videos here about magnesium L-threonate and Glynac and all my other videos, all devoted to how you can take the best care of yourself and your loved ones.